Hello, brothers and sisters in Christ, and today I'm going to be talking about what really happens when you sign that contract in the NFL and what the repercussions are on your children. I want to start off by reading 2 Bible verses today. The first verse being Luke 17:2. It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. And I take that verse wholeheartedly, completely wholeheartedly. And I feel for children every time I ride past a lodge or a stadium or a warehouse, any place that I know that kids are taken and abused and disappear. Okay? And I feel very passionately about that, and there's others who don't feel as strongly about that, and I really don't agree with that. I don't understand who couldn't care about children. God save the children in Jesus Christ's name. And the second verse is Psalms 35:8. Let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he hath hid catch himself, and to that very destruction let him fall. Okay? I just think that's really fitting. For what we're going to be talking about today. You're going to see I'm in a serious mood for this video because this is no laughing matter. This is no joking matter. There's a serious gravity about this video that I found by way of the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, because I could have never found this on my own, okay? I wasn't looking for this. This child is manifesting the entire video, showing signs of grooming, has been through so much for such a young age. The father, an absolute wretched shame of a father, looks on like as if he's pleased what he's done. I'm going to go ahead and start this video. I couldn't make it through it. I have to slow it down so you can see what exactly is going on with this child here, as I pointed out. I want to thank God. That these children, some of them are saved from this horror and delivered from this horror they are able to go through as a child by way of their Masonic and witch, warlock family members, and that they can have a testimony as powerful as the ones I've heard about SRA. He filmed this for a reason. It was after he re-signed the contract. The contracts that they sign are not just contracts. Okay? It's a binding contract, and they sign in blood. And I know people out there may not believe that they actually sign in blood. Once they sign enough times and they want to move up, because they have to keep re-signing, once they initially sign. They have to do more things. They have to sacrifice more things. People may know about how they sacrifice animals. They sacrifice their children too. And it's biblical. And they've been doing this a very long time. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to play this video. Within the first few seconds, you're going to be... I already prayed before this video, for everyone watching, and because this is intense, I couldn't even make it through this. It got so bad, and I'm going to be explaining what is really going on here as I see it, truly. So I'm going to play the video without further ado. This child has been through immense sexual grooming, possibly MK Ultra programming, and more. If you've seen the Kathy O'Brien testimony, where she talks about how her father used his phallic as a bottle. Instead of the milk bottle, he used his phallic. It's clear to me this is possibly similar of a case here.
Say hi to everybody. Being shy. She being shy. Derek, thanks again for doing this. For you, when you enter.
Here's the beginning of the manifestation of this child. And I also want to point out, this is a boy that you see how they've put pigtails on their head to make them look like a girl. This is also a part of the grooming.
Free agency, did you kind of think this was how it's gonna play out, coming back to the Ravens? Or was there a period that you thought you might be going somewhere else?
The child has a monitoring spirit in him. As soon as they ask the question, do you think you might be going somewhere else? As in, when it comes to re-signing these contracts, it's a serious matter. They've literally sold their child as a part of the deal. It comes in as a part of the contract. The child they're only like 1 to 3 years old. They can't know these hand signs this young. If you notice the eyes, there was something an unsettling, uncomfortable feeling, like the child was inhabited by something not of themselves. And then they throw up the goat, as they're calling it, right? The Baphomet, the horns, the devil horns, because the child has demons, because they've been groomed.
Okay. with the cat being how it was, I was
Tongue issues is going to be common throughout this video. This is also demons manifesting. This is one way they can manifest, through the tongue. When you get done eating, when your lips are chapped, people say, "Oh, well, I was eating, so I was licking my lips." No, that's the demons inside of you who enjoyed that meal. And when your lips are chapped, that's just another excuse. Again, these are malevolent, vindictive, have not your best interests in mind spirits. It has nothing to do with the person. I'm not coming against this child in any way, shape, or form, and I probably should have prefaced by saying that.
sure what was gonna happen. It was actually, I wasn't sure if I was
Do you see that? Do you see what's going on with this child's tongue?
even gonna get a chance to play football again. With the cat being the way it was, I was like, well, maybe they're gonna just bet on these young players and, count on the draft. So I really wasn't sure what was.
They seem not to have any control over their body, and that's not right for a child, or anybody, but especially a child, and for them to be this young. Now you'll notice that the look that was going on in their eyes right before they threw up the devil horns is gone now. It's mostly just manifesting, the demons are manifesting the tongue. Why? This is where a lot of the abuse took place. Unfortunately. They've been demonized, this child.
Gonna happen. But, I'm really excited to be back.
Did you see how the child's face just moved? They were not the one who was pleased about him being back on the team. It was a demon inside of the child, or in this case, depending on how rough the abuse was. I shouldn't say I shouldn't say rough, depending on how, and depending on how immense, there's no right way to say this, depending on how horrid this abuse was, they could have legion. Okay, for a child, they already have the spirits that transfer from their parents that they didn't cast out. Okay, which is why self-deliverance is it's important, getting deliverance, especially before you have kids. But then you're going to do witchcraft on them, and other people are going to do witchcraft on them. So that's because it's a tool of manipulation for people who abuse children. And then you're going to do SRA, which is what flip turns a child's life upside down, and how you get someone like what happened to Brooke Shields, and you look at them today, know that they've been through something similar, very similar, possibly worse. Notice where the child's eyes are. Look at his face. I haven't done this since the Trump snake poem video, but they do public grooming rituals all the time. When they took a break, this was 2020 when they shot this. They took a break last year, whatever. And they took a break. I'm calling it a break because none of that was real, what happened last year. And they were on camera in their home on Zoom and things, checking in, their handlers checking in on their slaves. This is what they were freaking doing. They were doing exactly what they were doing before. Where is their direct eye line of sight? Where does it end? Straight down in their lap. Are they even wearing any clothing? This is disgusting. And I saw an interview just like this with Ryan Seacrest, not to go on a tangent at all, with Ryan Seacrest and David Muir, who was of ABC World News. And they made it pretty obvious. But back to what were these people thinking? What were they thinking? Look at his face change. Them react. Start being vocal. Because a lot of children who are abused, they're bound so badly. A lot of them have speech impediments or problems speaking, not wanting to talk when they're asked questions and things of this nature. I've seen it up close. I've worked at a place where they had children who were in adoption agencies and adopted a lot of times when they were adopted for the wrong reasons by people who didn't mean them well. And I heard confession from someone as well who admitted the only reason that they adopted the child, which, by the way, this may not even be their biological child. You know how they like to use IVF when they have money, right? In the professional sports Hollywood. This person admitted to me in a Lyft ride back in 2019. I was in the back seat, and they happily told me they make a huge amount of money. It's income to them. They think a child is just income when they adopt them, some people. I had no idea. God made that person tell me that. God can do this for you too. He can bring videos to you just like this. You didn't even know, because I didn't know how deep this went in professional sports world. He can bring you videos you don't even, you're searching for answers, because when you seek, you shall find. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit, just because it's pretty graphic after this. It's pretty graphic. This is supposed to be an interview, not him publicly ritualizing his child. Okay? Like, wow.
Hey, Derek. You you said when you signed last year how much you were excited to be there. You talked about your pre-draft experience, but having now gone through it a year and obviously resigning to be here for the next couple years, why is Baltimore such a good fit? Like, what about it, kind of met your expectations
It's happening again. It's happening again.
and whatnot?
They've been there fondling their own father. Why would a child even showed signs of built up tension? This is disturbing, right? And that term, I usually hear people use that term who are asleep. They're like, this is disturbing, and it's like a blocker, like a denial, the spirit of denial type thing. So I definitely cast that out in the name of Jesus Christ. But they're doing what they've been taught. Okay? And that part is the only word I can think of off the bat as disturbing. But it's the reality. It's the reality of this world, and it's been going on for a very long time. You know the history behind most of these professional sports teams roots itself in masonry, especially baseball. I haven't even gotten to baseball yet. And I have stories. Well, I did talk about a little bit in my Bob Costas video. I worked at a stadium. I saw these people up close. I was in the locker room. I was there. Of course, while they were not there. And you don't want to be there. You don't want to be at a place like that. You can tell exactly what happened. But this just gets 20 times worse as it continues. And I hope I'm able to actually make it through this video this time, God willing.
You know, everything about that organization is.
Do you see this? I'm covering my mouth. That's why it sounds like I'm like muffled for a second. My mouth, I'm in shock again. As they stick out their tongue, as they've been programmed, groomed to always, and you know, I know there's people going to be like, okay, well, I have a kid, or I knew a kid, or I have a cousin, or my nephew, niece, and they always want to suck on something too because they have their bottle and their toy, and that's true. We're talking about someone who's, you know, I barely even know who he is, yet I know his name. You know that they sold out when they're a household name, but you don't even watch sports. Yet I know who he is. And when they're a household name, there comes a set of tasks, aka rituals, that they must complete that affects everyone around them. This contract comes with clauses, small writing. They may have not known about it, but they had to before they signed. I don't want to keep it paused on this anymore.
Is kind of like what. It's hard to put it into words, man, but it's really just like I feel at home there. You know, when you walk into that building, it's the kind of place that you want to be. You know, you enjoy going to work. You enjoy waking up in the morning and going into that building. The coaches treat you like a grown man. You know, you're not treated like a child.
Do you see this? The child has no control over their tongue. Something has control over them. This is horrible. That's absolutely horrible. You can see, hopefully, with discernment, the spirit of discernment, the gift of discernment. This is no joke, people.
Child, you're treated like a man. And, you know, to me, that is, and they're all about winning. That's all that really matters. They just want to, whatever they have to do to win, they're going to do it. And, you know, I love that and I appreciate that.
Todd Karpovich. Hey, Derek, thanks for doing this. There's gonna be.
Why are they bending over their father's lap? This is about as far as I made it. I'm just gonna put it on regular because I can't. This is too much to watch in the slower speed. But you've gotten the gist. It's just gonna be the same thing, but worse. The rest. It's just
Some turnover
horrible.
on that defense. Next year, you lost some outside linebackers. How do you think your role might change? Maybe you be pressuring the quarterback more, or you think, are you just going to go in and see how things play out and trust the system?
That exactly right there. I'm going to trust the system. And, you know, I've always been the type of guy to I'm going to do my job no matter what. And I'm just going to do my job to the best of my ability. So whatever they ask me to do, I'm going to do it.
Whatever they ask him to do, I'm not even paying attention to what he's saying as much as what the child is, what's happening to the child. They have no control over their body after what they've done. He says he's willing to do anything. He meant that too. He means that. You can look and see in his eyes just how much he means that. He's dedicated.
I will go to Garrett Downing.
Where is his hand? What is happening with his hand? What is his arm doing? Where is his arm? I have no clue. And clearly his hand over here has a hold on the child, right? You know, I'm going to try not to pause this anymore. I just want to get through this video because I couldn't get through it before. But I can guarantee there will be at least one more pause for sure. That's for sure. I can guarantee that because this is going off the rails.
Hey, Derek, congratulations. Could you just kind of describe the excitement when you decided that this was the place where you were going to be, like when that moment was finalized and you knew that this is the place that you're going to be for the next 3 years?
You know, I talked to my wife about it, and she was like, I was like, you think I should take the deal? She's sitting right here. Sorry. I was like, you think I should take the deal? And she was like, yes, absolutely. And I was like, all right. She was like, you know, it's they take care of me there in the building. You know, they look out for me. You know, they put me in a position to make plays, and you know, we're winning football team. So that's what's most important to me is winning the game, man. Like winning football games is all I really care.
Do you see this right here? The child is completely demonized. I've never seen anything so clear in my life with the child. You see that? That's amazing. This is an absolutely clear as day footage. When do you see children throw up these hand signs? Ever. Like ever. Never. I haven't.
Care about at this point in my career. You know, the money is great, everything, but at the end of the day, it's not worth putting your body through it if you're not competing for something. And competing for a championship year in, year out for the next 3 years is going to be great.
Childs Walker.
Yeah, hey Derek. Obviously you've been doing this for a long time now, so you know there's a balance. I mean, the excitement of coming back for you, but you're also you're watching guys that you played with last year go other places.
Do you see that? You know what? Do you see this? The child has been groomed. They are almost. I can't say the things that they're doing because it's just that bad. This is not right. There's some sort of. This is not right. This is not right. This is not right. No. Father and daughter, or son, daughter, and dad. This is not supposed to be. No. What it looked like just happened. And them pulling them back up to upright, and then them using their hand as a teething mechanism, right? Right? Because I know people are going to say that it's a teething mechanism, right?
What is that like? You know, what Judon and Gakwe, guys like that, watching them sign up.
You see this? Throwing up more. This is demonic hand signs. Devils.
Elsewhere.
You know, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they got to go get their money. You know, that's what they were looking for, was to get their paycheck and get their payday, and that's what they got. And you know, I love to see guys' hard work pay off. You know what I mean? Hate to see them leave, but love to see them get what they were looking for.
Donna Jean Rumbly.
Hey, Derek. Hello. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
It's exciting. I was reading about how Harbaugh called you one of the best leaders that he's ever seen. So that must make you feel great. And I guess I'm wondering, do you think you're one of the best fathers?
What's going on with his hand here? Why are his arm muscles moving? You know what? Guys, I don't know if you guys want to see the rest of this. Honestly, this is a lot here. They're covering up one eye now. This is very typical for someone when they're demonized too. It's not just that they're taught the hand signs. They're taught the hand signs sometimes knowing that they're demonic and that they invoke demons on them. Then there's people who are demonized who do these hand signs who don't even know they're doing it, right? You may see people doing it, and what that means is that they're demonized too. They need to be delivered too. I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to say, brothers and sisters. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This is just so No child should have to be like this, subjected to this torment, this young. No one in general, and as a child especially, that's supposed to be your childhood. No wonder no one wants to talk. A lot of people don't want to talk about their childhood. It's just that horrendous. In this case, this is horrible.
See, you must be excited to, be a father, and how's that affecting your life?
Even threw up the 666.
And how's that affecting your life?
I didn't have a really good example growing up, so I'm just doing the best that I possibly can, and I just try to give her my time, just try to spend.
Covering up their eye again. They just try to give them their time. All of it, apparently. Their wife is right there. Their wife, a lot of times they're both too. They set them up with them. They end up doing a lot of the grooming too. It's a dude and a woman, and they're also with the child, the so-called wife.
As much time as I possibly can with her during the off season, because during the season, there's 6 months of the year that I really can't really give her all my attention, because I'm giving that attention to the team. So, she loves me, I think. and
Awkward. One eye full of light, one eye full of darkness. How great is that darkness? The whole body is full of darkness, clearly.
I just try to give her as much love as I possibly can, and she gives it right back.
That statement alone. He tries to give her as much love as he can. And she gives it all right back, or whatever he said. Despicable.
We'll go to Jeff Zarebek.
Derek, you touched on this in your first response, but you have the interesting perspective of being on the free agent market in back-to-back years. Given the cap decrease across the league, how many players are
Look
available?
at this. Do you see this? This is why I couldn't make it. I don't know how far I made it this interview. I literally tunnel visioned. I couldn't believe what I'm seeing. The child just hopped onto their lap, right? Everyone's like, okay, what's the big deal? I mean, my child's been it's not the same thing in that. These people are making hundreds of millions of dollars. This comes at a price. Look at the child. They've been groomed. Look at the helpless child. Completely has no control. You have no control of your body once you have this many demons, that you're this, and that is a lot of the reasons why that people might say, oh, well, I've seen my nephew, cousin, so-and-so, or someone do this. And people don't want to hear this, I know. A lot of times when they're like distracting, maybe they're running around the store, things like this, not listening, rebellious maybe. People say that's because they don't know right from wrong. Let's say that this goes on and continues and there's no reproof or instruction or anything like that. This all results from the sins of the parents transferring to the child. I know. I was a bad kid. I wasn't sexually abused, though, to my knowledge. If it happened, it would have happened before I remember, like as an infant. So I'm pretty certain it didn't happen. And most people feel that way, I know. A lot of people have repressed memories. It seems like it could be a way of God helping. So this child won't remember any of what's happening here, hopefully. This is absolutely horrendous.
Did it feel a lot different this off season? I mean, did you sense there was less opportunities for you this off season, less money?
Begin sucking the thumb again, throwing up, about to throw up. It looks like more devil horns.
Available on the open market in general, or how did the two off seasons compare?
They are.
Well, I think COVID kind of screwed me twice. It was,
Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. And they're using witchcraft too. The wife is behind the camera
injury last year.
I'm not keeping
So
the
teams
camera.
can-
I'm not keeping this. I'm not keeping that up on the screen. This is a real interview. This is a real interview that's still up on the Baltimore Ravens channel. Do you see what they put out there? And then they think that we're stupid and we're not going to figure this out and that we're crazy for even speculating that they've done this kind of thing.
couldn't bring me in and see if I was, doing all right or not. And then this year they screwed us with the cap. So it's just.
Look at how nervous he is and embarrassed. He's the one who's done this to the child, the poor helpless, demonized child, that poor child, that poor innocent lamb who came down from heaven, who had to deal with this horrendous, what looks like warlock father. I mean, he's got that look. If you've ever, because that's the sport I used to watch was WWE. If you've watched this, it's jam-packed with warlocks up in there. I didn't watch the women's wrestling. I know there was just jam-packed warlocks. If you think about, stereotypes, or is it just discernment, right? Like, he's got that look, He's got that look.
Just the way it is, man. And I'm just grateful to be on a team that wants me.
All right. Do we have any more questions for Derek? We'll go
You
back.
see this mess? They're sticking all of their entire mouth. They're sticking their entire hand in. I can't say anything else.
Back to Jamison Hensley, please.
Hey, Derek, another free agent addition the Ravens signed was Kevin Zeitler. What have you had any kind of interactions, playing against him throughout your career?
He seems proud. He seems very proud of himself. Horrendous. He said he had a horrible upbringing too at some point here too. It's
Any
obvious.
kind of memories stand out?
Yeah, well, I've known Kevin since the combine.
This does not mean, this isn't, there's a ton of people who turn out way better parents. No, nothing close to this. That's not an excuse that they had a bad upbringing. No, that's not a good enough excuse. This child is going through absolute hell. They're being tormented this young. They don't even know yet, probably. But when they're young, I heard that when they're an infant, up until a certain point, they can see into the spirit because they haven't had their pineal gland calcified and from the fluoride and all the chemtrails and stuff and whatever's in the food. And they can a lot of them, that's why they're screaming and crying in the crib. A lot, because they're seeing into the spirit when they just got here. I just hope this child doesn't remember any of this. But also, I hope that they get help from the results of what, their parents have done.
And I played against him when he was at Cincinnati a couple times. Played against him, with his last team. So to me, he's one of the best pickups we could possibly get. And that guy is one of the best offensive guards I've ever played against. He's strong. He's always available. That's just that, he's smart football player. He's tough to beat, man. He's just a tough player. So I'm looking forward to going against him and taking my game to another level.
All right. If there are no more questions for Derek, then I think we can wrap up.
They vocally respond, and he looks at them fondly. Not like a father looks at a daughter. Does it look like how a father looks at a daughter? Is it just more pride, too, on top of that? He's proud of how they look like they have them in such a state that as soon as this camera goes off, who knows what happened to this child?
Now, give it a second here. All right, Derek, well, thank you. We really appreciate it. Congratulations.
What happened with his hand there? What happened there? What is happening here? They're bonded. They're bonded spiritually, and I can see that, and I hope I'm not the only one, and I hope this doesn't sound like complete banter.
Congratulations again on signing your new deal, and thank you for your time today and joining the media.
Thank you, guys.
child's personality is completely null and void. I'm glad it ended earlier than I thought it would. Absolutely. Painful. I know it was probably painful if you could see this happening, and I hope, brothers and sisters, that you could really understand that I wouldn't make this up. That God led me to this video, because I didn't know this is another way that they put it in plain sight, what's going on behind the scenes. I was covering my mouth most of the interview. I'm sorry if it sounded muffled at times. Yeah, and I have to fight off the spirit of disbelief, because it does seem unbelievable. That's how a lot of people are going to see this. And I don't want to speak any word curses, but I know somebody possibly could stumble across this video and say, why would you imply that based off of how the child's reacting? I've never seen anything like this in my whole life, and I used to babysit children for, like, let me see, 6th grade through, I believe, 11th, 10th or 11th. That's a minute. It's a little bit of a minute there. Be around young kids. I mean, all under the age of 4. Yeah, under the age of 4. I saw children, like, for years on end. Not that means, oh, I've seen every situation from infant, just born to 4 years old. It's just like most people think this is abnormal. Hopefully we'll think this is abnormal behavior for a father and their daughter. They're bonded. They're bound together in the spirit, in an unnatural nature, how it says not to do in the Bible. You're not supposed to have incest within your family. You're not. You bring curses upon yourself. This is not supposed to be how it's supposed to be at all. And the theme of pedophilia in the public eye worsens as we inch closer to them legalizing one day, which don't think because they had a year off of let's do this test run with the plandemic and all that, run a scamdemic, that they're not hurtling actually, since they had that Blue's Clues thing lately. You guys have probably heard about the Blue's Clues, and they had something with Sesame Street too recently. Something to do with drag. I couldn't bring myself to watch any of the full, like, episodes of this kind of thing. I only watched clips. They're hurtling towards legalizing same sex, not only same sex marriage with 2 people that are adults, but 2 people who could be adult and child. You got heterosexual. I wonder what they're going to call it. Agender, bigender marriage. I don't know what they're going to call it. Bi something marriage. They're hurtling towards legalizing marriage between adult and children is what I'm saying. And they've already done the bestiality in Canada. They said that it's okay to have, I'm not going to say it, but they've said it's okay to have sodomy, we'll put it that way, with your animal in Canada. These things, they're going to do all at once. I'm thinking now, since everybody's being very desensitized while they've been in their home, a lot of people still in their home like they were last year, kind of really weighed down at this point if they didn't reject the programming. I don't want to go too much longer in this video. I know it's been long enough. I didn't even think I could make it through. I'm just glad it ended early. I didn't even know. I was like, oh, good. And like I said, just, all we can do is pray for these children, pray that there will be a way out made for them. Somehow they can get out of this thing, that they won't be sold into this, it seems like, endless circus of children who end up having their soul also sold when they turn 18, and then they end up making it big because of their father or their mother. Countless stories like this. Nothing new under the sun. This is the sad reality. It's been going on. It's going on today. It's linked in with witchcraft, which is linked in with masonry, which is linked in with royalty, which ties back to that video about shitty shitty bang bang. I just want you guys to know I love you so much. And Jesus died for your sins on the cross, so repent and be born again of water and spirit today. I had to get this out there, guys. I'm sorry if it was disturbing, too disturbing, but I pled the blood of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, over you so that you will be protected from anything that may try to transfer, because that was intense. And I'm still going to do the video about the person becoming fully possessed on stage, the 2013 Miss America contestant ceremony. That's coming next. That's coming. And possibly later today, if not tomorrow, because I have been wanting to do this video for months. As you can see, I do have very spaced out times sometimes when I upload, and I don't mean that on purpose. I'm trying to psych myself up to do this kind of thing, build myself up in the spirit to handle, repercussions, spiritual warfare, it's important. So, but anyways, I thank you for watching this. If you somehow made it through this video, watch this horrendous clip. Yeah, I commend you, because I almost didn't make it. I wanted to cut this off again. It's 3 times at least, maybe 4, 5 more. But anyway, I hope this was somewhat clear and pointed out what's going on here. The reality of what happens when you sell your soul. You sign that contract in blood, and you take an oath to Lucifer. This is what you have to do. God wouldn't make you do this. He doesn't require blood sacrifice. He doesn't require you to sacrifice your child to Baal. He doesn't require you fondle. It's disgusting. Your child. You don't have to do any of that. You can live in peace. You can live a good life. He'll provide for you. You don't have to sign your soul for hundreds of millions. Will it be worth it at the end of the day when he stands in front of the Most High? This Derek Wolfe, not in sheep's clothing, right here. Blatant wolf. What will he say if he doesn't repent? I hope that he repents before he takes his last breath. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for watching. Or else there will be a millstone waiting for him. Den of demons as well.